Hey everyone, welcome to the Cast and Spear podcast. My name is John, and today we are joined by Captain Ben Choi. We're going to be talking a lot about spearfishing in Florida and talking about sharks over this week, commercial spearfishing, cooking, and even how he got a world record back in the day on the pole spear. Welcome to the show, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Ben is also an IUSA world record holder and a U.S. merchant mariner, just FYI. And today I want to chat a little bit about Gulf of Mexico spearfishing. So talk to me a little bit about some of the fish you got over there. I know, well, maybe let's start with the bottom fish, like the hogfish and things like that. What's over there?
Yeah. So the main fish that everybody really wants to shoot when they're over here, is the hogfish. It's pretty. They're tasty. Their meat's really great. We also have a lot of snappers. There's mangrove snappers, red snappers, mutton snappers. Then we have some grouper, red grouper. Those are pretty good. The prize ones are, the gag grouper and the black grouper. Those are the really, really big ones that everybody holds up in pretty cool pictures. Um, so those are the bottom fish mainly. We also have our pelagics, which are like our African pompano, our permit, wahoo, mahi mahi, and rainbow runners. Similar to your guys' yellowtail over there, but just like way smaller.
Still delicious?
Very delicious. Oh man. But like I'm super jealous of your guys' yellowtail because like a big one for us is like 5 pounds, and I see like the yellowtails that you guys have over there, and I'm just like, man, think about, like 20 pounds of sashimi.
They get pretty big, and they even get bigger down in Baja. Like they get up to 80 pounds, 90 pounds.
Oh, holy crap.
So tell me a little bit about like how you guys spearfish them, because I see a lot of Instagram videos where it's all pole spear. Do you guys only allow to do pole spear? Do you guys got some spear guns?
No, so the Bahamas only allows pole spears, and that's probably where you see the majority of those pole spear videos. Florida lets us spearfish with spear guns, pole spear, free diving, scuba diving, um, you know, pretty much whatever take method you want. It's pretty open. Yeah, but mainly everybody I know uses spear guns.
Cool. And then how's the fishery over there? Because I hear a lot of guys in Florida always tout how how well and diverse and well regulated your guys' fishing population is. How do you see it?
Absolutely. No, I think I'm kind of impartial, but I think that Florida is one of the best regulated fisheries in probably the world, or and definitely at least top three in America. The amount of biologists and the amount of science that the state of Florida has, attributed to maintaining the populations, getting good stock assessments, getting good solid science into determining like what is going on in the fishery, real numbers, real quantifiable numbers, and then putting some good, level-headed people in charge of Gulf councils and fisheries councils and the people who make the decisions or the recommendations to the people who make the decisions. I think it's definitely a success story. There's a lot of poorly managed fisheries in the world, and Florida's definitely not one of those.
Perfect. So for a West Coast guy who wants to maybe explore some of the Florida spearfishing, what is their best, if you had to say, do this, like, is it hitting up a guy like yourself and then, trying to get on their boat, or do they just go on a regular charter? What is the whole best etiquette?
Yeah, I mean, I would just go on a regular charter. There's a lot of good charter operations in the Gulf and in South Florida and the Keys, um, Key West. Aaron Young, Dibs on Bottom. I'm sure you follow him on Instagram. He's a great charter captain down there. Um, but I would say that would be the first step. And then if someone moves over here and wants to like get in with the local guys, like yeah, definitely invites on boats are great. Local knowledge is always great. Learning the fishery, yeah, stuff like that.
Now, do they focus mainly on free dive spearfishing, or do they do a little bit of scuba as well?
Man, I would say that in my area, the west coast of Florida, that 80% of all spearfishing is scuba spearfishing, and like maybe 20% of spearfishing is free dive spearfishing. But it changes by area. In the Keys, um, it's probably 50-50 or heavily towards the free dive side, mainly because they have better visibility than us, and it's just easier to get to those depths, free diving with good visibility. Especially, same thing with South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. mainly free dive spearfishing. But on the West Coast, our waters tend to be a little bit murkier, a lot greener. Um, I'd say we have more fish. I've dove all over the state. We definitely have more fish, but we definitely need more. We have definitely have more scuba spearfishing over here.
Now, when you go scuba, are you staying relatively shallow, like 60 feet, or are you going like super depth?
I do a little bit of both, but I really enjoy like going super, super deep. Anything between 130 to maybe even 210 feet. It definitely gets very challenging, and it's very reliant. A lot of people say scuba spearfishing is reliant on your gear. In those depths, scuba spearfishing is relying on your body. The margins of error are very, very, very small, and to be able to keep up and do, 9 to 10 drops between 150 to 190 feet in one day for a tournament, your body's got to be in peak condition.
That's unreal. Thinking about that, you guys are. How long do you get for bottom time at those depths?
It just depends on how much you've done that day, but anywhere between 3 minutes and 8 minutes. But usually most of our dives, like bottom time, is 3 to 5 minutes, and you're in and out, and that's it. Unless you want to take the deco, which we do a lot of like deco diving. Tech diving is what I guess the proper term for it is. But we do take on a lot of deco. So
Just for us who don't know what deco is that the high oxygen or high nitrogen content tanks?
no, high oxygen, high drainage. It's just high. I guess I don't know the science behind it. But yeah, I think it's high nitrogen. It's nitrogen bubbles in your blood, and so like you can't come up until you let that nitrogen level like dissipate enough to where it's safe for you to like you know come up to a different atmosphere.
Oh, talking about like the safety stops and doing all that.
Yeah, so it's like a safe, but like 10 minutes sometimes.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
some intense, intense. It's intense for a tournament. Holy cow! And then how do the fish relate to a scuba diver? Versus like a free diver. Do they care about the bubbles, all the noise?
Yeah, they definitely you definitely see a change in fish behavior. Having free dove a lot, being a free dive instructor in the past, I've definitely noticed a change in behavior between the fish in the shallow water. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fish behavior, fish pressure, sorry, the pressure on the fish in the deeper water. Like when you dive 210 feet, a lot of those fish have never seen a diver before. So they're pretty curious, and they let you get a lot closer.
Now, is there anything a little bit sketch after you shoot the fish, like worrying about tangles or how do you retrieve it?
Yeah, absolutely. With those margins of error between, if you stay down for 3 minutes or even like 2 minutes past your no deco limit, you're taking on, 10 minutes, even 20 minutes of deco on the surface, sometimes decompression. And so if you don't have enough air for that to breathe 20 minutes at, 15 or 20 feet, you're going to be in some trouble. There's definitely always the risk of tangles, but we shoot mainly free shaft guns with no lines on them so that we minimize tangles. But most of our wrecks are old shrimp boats, so we have a lot of fishing line and fishing nets to get tangled up into for sure.
Wow, that sounds intense. So, what do you say to all those guys who have this? I'm guessing a misconception of how challenging scuba spearfishing is, because I think here on the West Coast, a lot of guys, it's as soon as you say scuba spearfishing, it's oh that's cheating, that's weak sauce, that's whatever. What do you say to them? I feel like they're misinformed.
Invite them to try out a day of deep scuba spearfishing, between 130 and 200 feet in one day. And I guarantee you're going to be more in touch with your body deep scuba spearfishing than, a casual day of freediving in 50 to 60 feet.
Now, also, I think they would also say having that much time, not even, it's not even that much time, right? It's a couple minutes, but to be able to shoot those fish, I guess you're basically saying it's not as easy as you think. It's not like the fish just hang around there and you get 20 minutes to shoot and get a full stringer. It's really not. You get to take one or two fish maybe.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When you only have 2 minutes to shoot fish, you better reload really quick.
All right, guys, so that does it for this episode. Tomorrow we have Ben back on the show. We're going to be talking about scuba spearfishing gear. We're going to do a deep dive into why rear handles beat mid handles in Florida and a whole bunch more. Thanks, Ben, for coming today.
Hey, just one more thing before you go. Would you find it helpful to get a few fishing tips and tricks sent straight to your inbox? Well, if so, head over to castandspear.com/join and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Tight lines.